Okay, I don't know if you guys can hear me really well. Haven't made a video in a while. As you all know, my name is Caleb Alt. Today is not a video about a gun, sadly. But in my opinion, it's still pretty cool. I'm into like bushcraft and stuff like that, so I don't know if anyone has heard of a alcohol burner stove, but that's what you're looking at right here. I've been like eating Vienna sausages, which is like disgusting, but it's like palatable, I guess. And so I got some, and then like I ate 2 cans of them to make this. What this is a homemade alcohol burner stove. There's an actual company that makes them. I think it's like a European company or something like that, and it's called Trangia. It's a Trangia alcohol burner stove. They call it a spirit burner. But I have made my own out of a Vienna sausages can. 2 of them. And I'm going to show you that and how my inspiration come about, not just from the Trangia stove, but from the Pathfinder MP40 Swedish mess kit. I want to get that, and then I want to get the Pathfinder alcohol burner stove to go with it. I just, in the meantime, wanted to mess around and make a homemade one. Seen a lot of videos on YouTube circulating over the years. They're old, most of them are old, of people making alcohol burner stoves out of Vienna sausages cans, like said. There's lots of videos of other people doing it with other methods such as pop cans and even cat food containers, but we have chose a Vienna sausage can, and I think this is the best one. So that's just my opinion. So let's get into showing you this. So here it is. It's pretty small, and it's lightweight. These cans nowadays are made out of aluminum, so they're anti-corrosive, and they weigh literally nothing. So I put this together with a just a little rubber bracelet. It says lead free is the way to be, and yes it is. Lead is bad. So let's show you the cap first. Cap, this is just like your snuffer. This is so you can turn the stove off. The little piece of hardware here is for making Kydex holsters and stuff like that, and I have on here little leather spacers because I didn't have a smaller size that would fit flush. And here is a little brass tab as a handle, just like on the actual real Trangia stove. It is usable in the same manner, where you can snuff the stove out with the cap and not burn yourself because you have a handle. And it is also foldable, so it folds, stows away. So that's the point of the cap. And all this is just the bottom half of a Vienna can, and it has been cut to size so that it can act as a cap. So then, here's the actual stove itself. Inside you can see a brass liner. You can get brass, like sheets of brass, at like any hobby store. I got mine, for instance, at Hobby Lobby. I think it's like $10 or $12 for a sheet of brass. For like a 10,000 inch sheet of brass, you can make a lot of stuff with it. It's great. It's good for gunsmithing. Like if you need a shim or a spacer or just like really anything. Like you just, the mind can come up with some really cool stuff. For example, I recently got a shotgun press with a trade I did with a friend. The shotgun press was really dirty, so I was cleaning it, and I accidentally snapped the primer feed spring to feed the primers into the shot shell. Broke the spring, and they're discontinued, so they're kind of hard to get unless you go on eBay and buy them. And I could have easily done that, but I wasn't about to spend the money when I have a sheet of brass. So I took my sheet of brass and I made a brass spring that it was very similar to the original one, and I installed that into my shotgun press, and I was able to repair that very easily. So if you just have brass sheets laying around, it's actually a really good idea. You can make anything with it. You can make simple repairs. It's just good stuff, man. So I took 2 halves, made it a hole by cutting these tabs and folding them in. So now it's like an inner sleeve. As you can see, I got some holes drilled in on the other sides. That was also for 2 reasons. One, if I were to, for example, take like a cowboy coffee cup and set that on top, I didn't want just at 2 points flame coming out and only heating up 2 points of this. And of course there's going to be flame coming out of the the whole circumference of the stove, but it's not the same in my opinion. So now I have 2 jets from where these are coming, but now I got the holes too that are going to let 4 points of contact onto the cup, plus the whole outer ring. So it should be a fairly even burn for cooking, boiling water, stuff like that. But also, when the stove is burning out, there is a possibility that it's going to be hot. More often than not, it shouldn't be hot. It should actually dispel the heat away from the can, and you should be able to like literally just touch the can even when it's going. You should be able to pick it up. But if you're putting it inside of like an insulator like I did when I tested it out, it gets hot, so you can't touch it. I put it inside of this little coffee cup to test it, and it worked really good, except it made it hot, so I couldn't touch it, so I had to let it cool down. But so I don't ever have to run into that case again, I also made a little wire handle, and you can take this little wire handle and you would just stick it through the holes that have been drilled, and you should be able to pick it up. Now I still got to do some tweaking and things, but pretty much it's a foolproof system so far. So now let's talk about the inside. So in a regular Trangia stove, there is like this. There's an outer wall, and then you have a inner wall, and in between those walls you have a wicking material. With a Trangia stove, I'm pretty positive they use a just a piece of cotton. It's not like the cotton we have used, but it's like a sheet of cotton, and it's a little material, and it's wrapped around the inner wall, and then it's sewed in one spot. But that is enough wicking material to bring the fuel up to the top. What I have used is these little cotton rounds for like cleaning up makeup and shit. But these are a little different. They're not the skinny ones that are like almost like gun cleaning patches. They're like, they have like an inner lining, like extra cotton inside of them, so you can like peel these ones apart and they're filled with more cotton. So this, if you can get some cotton rounds that have like, they're thick, they're padded, they're not thin, you can rip it apart and it's like real fluffy. That's the cotton rounds I use in this build. Awesome wicking material, and not even just that, because of the thickness and like the extra material inside, it holds on to fuel really well. So that's what I used. I just lined the can with it, and then I took the same steel wire that this handle was made out of, and I made I don't even know what you would call them, but like ring inserts that hold the material to the outer wall. So that's how this is built. I'm not going to take it apart just because it's pretty self-explanatory. You just line the wall with the cotton rounds, and then you got to very carefully take a piece of stainless steel wire, tension it up with your fingers, and then put it down in there, and then like kind of like let it go. It's not that simple. It's kind of hard. It's a pain in the ass, but it's doable. I did it. When I first tested the stove, I used 70% isopropyl alcohol because that's all I had on hand. And, well, that's not true. I could have done other fuel, but that's just silly. So, 70% isopropyl alcohol. I literally just poured enough in here around the edges to, like, wick the material. So, I got all of the cotton rounds fully soaked up with alcohol. And there was nothing in the bottom of the reservoir. Like, you couldn't see liquid in the bottom because the cotton rounds soaked it all up. That's what I mean by they hold a lot of fuel. It's awesome. So pretty much I filled this up to where the cotton rounds were wet, fully wicked up, but not enough fuel that was like sitting in the bottom of the reservoir. And you can believe me or you can think I'm lying. I really don't give a shit. But when you look up Trangia burner stove tests, like for like efficiency tests for like different types of fuel, you'll see people testing things like straight up like alcoholic vodka, or 90%, or heat, which you can get at like any gas station, stuff like that, or like mineral spirits or something like that. I don't know. Maybe not mineral spirits. Maybe I'm goofy. I don't know why I'm saying that, but like meths. It's like that's like in other countries they supply that shit. But here in the United States, there's heat everywhere. You can get it at any gas station, and you can get isopropyl alcohol anywhere as well. So, and it's pretty cheap. So that's what I used, and I tested it for the first time, and believe me or not, like I said, it literally burned for 22 and a half minutes. It was ridiculous. And call me stupid, but I did do it right here, like right on this desk. And I had to sit here for 22 and a half minutes watching the damn thing to make sure it didn't, do something crazy and catch the house on fire. It didn't, but it does burn aggressively. And it works for a little too long. You definitely, with normal Trangia stoves, you're damn near filling the whole thing up just to get it to last for 30 minutes to cook a meal. With this thing, I swear I could just fill it up to where the cotton was all the way wet, and maybe a little more, and I could cook a whole meal. No problem. This thing is extremely fuel efficient, and keep in mind, I did use 70% isopropyl alcohol, so I think maybe the water content in the 70% isopropyl alcohol maybe had something to do with the longer burn time, because I had to burn off that water while continuously burning the fuel, which it worked out really well. I was very surprised. But it did produce a lot of heat. But because it was 70% isopropyl alcohol, it did produce a lot of moisture too. Like if I put a can on top of this while it was burning, it would get like moisture. Like you take the can off and you can feel that it was moist, But yeah, 70% isopropyl alcohol has like insane burn time, and nobody has done any burn tests with 70% isopropyl alcohol, and it actually works. So if you only have that, it will work. But yeah, that's the whole point of this. So here's a little Trangia stove, homemade out of a Vienna can sausage. I don't know, I'd like to call it like the tall boy Trangia, bro. For real, dude, it is cool. Take the cap, say it's burning, you snuff it out. Not hard. So pretty cool. Rotate that handle, put your rubber band on, and yeah, it's great. But because it burns so ferociously, I made a grill for it too. Something to go over it so that you can stick a bigger pan on top. So, stuff to think about that too. I have a campsite out in the woods. I like to do camping and bushcraft stuff. And I'm always thinking about emergencies, like you got to think about when shit hits the fan. And I know that some people are like, oh, you're goofy, but it's for real. You do gotta be prepared. And I know if I were to leave this little stove out at my campsite, because it's made out of aluminum, it wouldn't corrode, it wouldn't rust away, and whenever I needed to go out there, if I didn't have room in my pack to pack a stove to cook with, I could leave this out there and it would be just fine. So that's why I thought this was cool. It was just really fun. Just something goofy, fun. Not every video has to be about guns or whatever. So, yeah. We're going to wrap it up here. Maybe plan on seeing more videos soon about bushcraft and other things, Like I said, I do want to get the Pathfinder MP40 Swedish mess kit, so that would be awesome. I could maybe even make a video about that, reviewing it. And the alcohol burner stove from Pathfinder. That would be cool too. I'm trying to put together a bug out bag, like a serious survival. When stuff goes wrong, I grab that bag and everything is in that bag that I need. So I've been building it for like over a year now, just slowly putting things into it that are essential to me and my family. And so that's part of this. This is just experimental. I'm trying to figure out what the best mess kit is that would be worth my time taking up space in my pack where other things that are more important could go. So for this video, it's a little bit too long. I wanted this video to be like 7 minutes, but we're like double that. So yeah, just plan to see maybe more bushcraft videos from me. Just whatever the hell I want to do, because that's what I do. I do what I want. So yeah, have a good day.